Hello, everyone. It's Kim from K&RP here in southeastern Manitoba. Today we're going to do some cooking. Yay! More chaos in Kim's kitchen. It's currently plus 12 degrees Celsius out, so that is kind of nice. We're actually getting some spring. Still have a bit of a swamp at the back corner of the yard. Definitely have to do something about the drainage, but at least it's way back there and I don't have to worry about it. All right. So happy Easter to those of you who celebrate. Those of you who know me know I do not celebrate, but I know a lot of you do. Okay, today we're going to do egg white bites and sausage supper. These are both, I'm prepping both. Hey, Anne, nice to see you. Welcome. And Cindy, welcome. So what I'm doing today is these are stuff that I'm prepping and I'm going to be putting in the freezer. So I know that some of you had asked for quick meals that you can just pop in, pop out, that kind of thing. So the egg white bites are kind of a takeoff on the Starbucks little egg white bites that you can get. The sausage supper is really simple and you can do it in a multiple of ways. You can use all kinds of different sausages, different soups. It's just a base recipe, but this is the one I used when I was teaching cooking to people with varying abilities. All right, I have a lot of junk on my counter today. Look at all the junk on my counter. So we need the cutting board. So we're gonna start, I'm gonna do both simultaneously because this is the way I work. So I'm gonna take these sausages. Normally, if I had time, I would have mixed up my own sausage meat. I did not have time this week. So this is Johnsonville pork sausages, breakfast sausages, and we're going to open this up and chop them. Now, when I was teaching this recipe originally, I didn't bother chopping the sausages up. But when I freeze it, I kind of like it because the sausages are in smaller pieces, and that way it mixes more throughout the meal. Before we do that, let's just turn this oven on, 375. Because we need that for the egg white bites. All right, that's starting. We will just take these sausages. And I'm just going to chop them in threes. Not this knife. That's not the knife I want. I'm going to use a real knife. So I hope everybody's having a lovely day. Everybody's had a lovely week. So as I said, I'm chopping them in threes. They're still kind of chunky, but it's just going to make it easier when I package. Because, you know. And this way, everybody gets a little bit of sausage. Now these sausages, I noticed, 3 of them, 650 milligrams of salt, very high in salt. That's the nature of the beast. They look to be pretty greasy, fatty. We're going to find out once we start frying them. You know, when when you decide the day before what you're making online, and you have to go to the store and pick it up, beggars can't be choosers, right? So we've got that chopped up. We're going to move that out of the way. And we are going to throw this in the frying pan way over there. Can you see my rectangle over there? Over there on the stove. We'll take the lid off. The plate's there so I can put the sausages on after. We're going to turn this on medium high, and we're going to put those in. And while those are cooking, we are going to chop the potatoes. We'll slice them. If you have a mandolin and you use a mandolin, good. I am just slicing these kind of the way you do it for scalloped potatoes. Let me see my cutting board again. Here we go. I've pre-peeled them. The reason being is these potatoes are really sad. They've got a lot of like dark marks, so I've been hacking out dark marks and had all kinds of little pucky holes. So anyway, we're just going to cut these in slices. Everything else is prepped, but I figured while the sausages were cooking, I could chop this up so that you can see some sort of prep work that I actually am doing things myself. Yeah, I don't want that dark. You know, I'm very spoiled. My dad was an inspector for the government and for fruits and vegetables. And I've never encountered anything with blemishes because he would, you know, when we were shopping, he would definitely go through things, and he would talk to the produce managers and the people in produce and tell them all these history things. It was very enlightening. I don't remember half of, what he talked about, but that's okay. Some things I do remember, some things I do not. So anyway, as I say, I was very spoiled. We didn't have blemished potatoes as a rule, unless it had the hollow heart, where it gets all the black stuff in the middle. I mean, you can't really tell, but so much of this stuff that comes in now in the produce, he wouldn't have, you know, he would have had something to say to the produce people about it, that's for sure. And I know that when we're getting stuff from all over the place, everybody's got their own growing methods, etc. Oh, let's turn this down just a little bit. And let's give it a stir. Yes, that's one thing I didn't remember to pull out was the spatula. So I'm just going to cook those until they're brown, not necessarily cooked all the way through, because they will finish cooking in with the potatoes and the onions, etc. So with this recipe, it's in the description box below. When I originally taught it, you're supposed to use a can of tomato soup. So when I was teaching, I did use a can of tomato soup because I know that that's what the majority of people had. And being having varying abilities and usually getting your stuff from food banks, you would get tomato soup. You wouldn't necessarily get tomato paste so that we could change it up the way I'm going to change it up. Oi, this is something I really caution about too. Use a bigger cutting board. You don't want to corner yourself, as I have cornered myself. This is the way you're going to end up cutting yourself. Let's not do that on camera. It wouldn't be the first time, but not on camera. Oh, look. See, we're hitting the floor now. The recipe calls for 5 medium potatoes. I always add a little bit more because I do. Because I like to have lots of stuff in my house. They do have more blemishes. Oh, probably. Could be. Is there much automation sorting? Yeah. Well, I mean, with the automation too, there's larger populations, right? So you have to do things quicker. We can dump these in this bowl. Maybe. The one on the floor is going to go in the garbage, or because, just because. All right. And we're going to stir these up. Let's look over here again. Whoa, over to the stove. Can you see the pan? I'm waiting for that to catch up. Yeah, you can see the pan. So I'm getting some brown bits on the bottom, which is nice because it produces a nice bit of gravy. They are reasonably fatty, and they're not quite brown yet. While those are browning, we can start the eggs. I've got all the peppers and onions and everything else cut for this, so I don't have much more prep to do. We are going to go back over here, and for the egg white bites, it calls for a lot of eggs. And I know that you guys are having trouble with eggs. When I do this, I buy the cartons of egg whites. This holds 15 egg whites. It's produced in Winnipeg. No preservatives, whatever. It's just liquid egg. liquid egg whites, and that's it. I did buy some other stuff one day, and it was not the local brand, but I couldn't believe how many things were in them. So for this recipe, we need 2 cups of egg whites. This is just a little bit, 500 milligrams, just fits. Look, I can use that for an embroidery. you know, but consider what you can have in the kitchen to play with as well. There's this. Okay, so 2 cups of egg whites, and it says a third cup of Greek yogurt. So we will just grab the yogurt out of the fridge. I buy it in the large economy size because I use it when I make overnight oats and smoothies and stuff. It's just a wonderful thing. I know that a lot of these recipes call for cottage cheese, quite high in salt. Third cup, dump it in. I don't know if you guys can get cartons of egg whites there. I have a friend in Philadelphia who does these wonderful angel food cake muffins, and she makes them from scratch. Keep this here because I probably will use it again. She makes them from scratch, and she would go to like 5 dozen eggs because she would make them for different groups of vegetables and things. This just needs another minute or so. They're really not too greasy. When I take the sausages out and put them on the plate, I will put some paper towel on the plate so that those can degrease a little bit. But the little bit of grease that's left in the pan, because there's really not that much grease in the pan. I don't know how well you can see that. There's really not that much grease in the pan. But they've got nice brown edges. Just going to give them another minute or so. Remove the lid. I'll put the paper towel on the plate. And we'll just remove these. And that's the signal that the oven is ready for the egg. It's got lovely little brown bits on the bottom of the pan. This is a cast iron frying pan, but it's enameled. You need to stay on the burner. So there's just a very light skim of grease on the bottom of this pan. I'm pretty impressed, actually. We will wrap these up so that they can drain some of that fat. Look, get on the plate. Shakes it all over the stove. Oh, I'll skip. We're going to bundle those up. So this little bit of grease here, we're going to dump in this potato. That can go away. And we're just going to get them coated in that little bit of grease that's there. This is a horrible spatula. Where did that come from? I'll use a metal one. I don't normally use a metal one in this pan, but today's okay. Need to make sure they stir good. Now we're going to add 2 cups of chicken broth to this, and we're going to bring it to a boil. I've got my locally made chicken broth. No salt, because those sausages have so much salt. You don't want to add any other salt to this. Seriously. If you were using a can of soup, which you might have to, just be aware that 2 cups. 2 cups of chicken broth. Oh no, was that right? Ah. Yes, 2 cups. This can go in the fridge. So I just like to get the potatoes a little bit pre-done first. And we're going to let that come to a boil. And then we'll put a lid on it. You just want those potatoes to cook, pre-cook a little bit before you add everything else to the pan. Okay, so that's got to come to boil. Let's go back over here to the eggs. So we have added the yogurt to the eggs. Am I on screen? I am, okay. And we've got to mix that yogurt in so there's no lumps. That looks pretty darn good. The nice thing about this is there's no cholesterol because it's egg white. There's no sodium added. Move that over to the side, just off my counter. Okay, so we've got the yogurt. It calls for salt. We don't add salt. Quarter teaspoon of black pepper. See, I did pull all that stuff. I have pepper. I've got garlic. And I have onion powder. There. So it calls for a quarter teaspoon ground black pepper. This is a quarter teaspoon. One of those in. It calls for a quarter teaspoon of garlic powder and a quarter teaspoon of onion powder. This is garlic. Now with these, you can chop up a little bit of meat. If you are using bacon, please pre-cook it. But if you're adding like ham or burger, make sure the burger's cooked too, because you know you can make this Italian, you can make it Mexican, however you like. Don't add too much meat. It also calls for oregano, a quarter teaspoon. Quarter teaspoon oregano. So this is kind of an Italian flavored, and it also calls for a quarter teaspoon cayenne. Cumin. Okay, so I'm not as prepared as I should be. You know, I do have it. Am I closing you guys out here? This this is my spice cupboard. Go back to my counter. I know I've got cayenne someplace. Believe me. Okay. This is cayenne. Up here. So a quarter teaspoon of cayenne as well. Hey, Jan, nice to see you. Good morning. Oh, what are you guys? I'm sorry, I'm ignoring chat. I've been really horrible today. Right, Anne. I knew that. That's why I kind of decided I should do something like this, because you had asked for stuff to put in the freezer. And this is something I make and freeze and just pull out a couple whenever. So I put all the spices in. Add whatever spices you like, guys. I like this recipe. I like that little bit of a zip in it. It does call for spinach. My store yesterday did not have spinach. They had one package left of frozen spinach, and I figured that was too watery. Okay, so it called for 1 cup finely flopped. Ooh, Kim talked good much. Okay, 1 cup finely chopped red bell pepper. So I mixed half pepper and half onion because I like onion in my things. You can add whatever you like. Right? You add whatever you like. And it also calls for half a cup of cheddar cheese, grated cheddar cheese. Now, I know that many of you don't, oh, look, it's got peppers on the bottom, because I had it sitting on top. That you can't have the cholesterol in the cheese. I understand that. So there's half a cup with a little bit. Kim and her suggestive recipes. You know, I'm just using the suggestions. And then we run into trouble, and that's why it's chaos. All right. So that's the mixture. That is the mixture. Now, if I had the spinach in there, of course, it would be thicker. It is not. So now this has come to a boil. Can you see it boiling? All right, it's boiling. So I'm going to put the onions on top. And I like my onions chopped big for this recipe because they, you know, cook down. Spread the onions on top. Oh, I have dishes today, guys. Oh my goodness. I have dishes. That's what happens when Kim cooks. Everything in the kitchen's dirty, right, Jan? Jan has been here when I've gone cooking mad, so she totally knows what's happening in my kitchen. She gets it. Hi, Tina, welcome. We're doing like Starbucks egg bites today. So I've got everything mixed up. The recipe is down below. It's got basil and all kinds of stuff. The recipe calls for a greased muffin tins. I'm fortunate enough to have mini muffin tin that's silicone, so I don't have to grease. I probably have more than enough to go in these. What am I going to use the scoop? I have a little scoop. Let's just use this little scoop. And we're going to fill each muffin tin. Now, the thing with this is they puff up, but as they cool, they shrink again. You like to do the dishes at my place. Hi, Sherry. Nice to see you. Hi, Belinda. Happy Easter to those of you who celebrate. Yeah, Jan does. It's like she follows after me and mutters and cleans up after me. I love Jan. Those of you who don't know, Jan is my sister-in-law. So we've had many years of playing together. Of course, you know, you can use whatever kind of cheese you want. I use cheddar, kind of what the recipe called for. Get puff. So how is everybody? Haven't seen you guys for a while. I've had a crazy busy week. Crazy. Oh, that's a big hunk of red pepper. That's okay. I like peppers. So these go in the oven for 20 minutes. Oh, I guess I need to turn that down just a little bit. I hear it boiling behind me. You know, you could do this without anything else in it. You can just do straight egg whites. It's up to you. Totally up to you. And they're really nice to have in the freezer, guys, because really, you know, sometimes you've got some soup and you don't know what you want to have with the soup, but you want something. So a couple of these I find work really, really nicely as a side. Or if I'm just having a salad, I will pull these out and chop them into my salad. Are you going to go see your mom, Monty? You said you're traveling today. Inquiring minds want to know. Monica's mom had a fall. I think I might just get these all in. I can top up some of these other ones as well. And I know a lot of these recipes call for using, you know what that stuff's called? Cottage cheese. You're not traveling yet? Oh, okay. Making a mess now. This last row? Yeah, let's make a mess. Okay, so it's more than the 24 of these. What I'm going to do with that is I'm going to put it in a small pan and do it like a baked omelet. Because I do love me a baked omelet. I will need to grease that. I have coconut oil here for that very reason. Baked omelets are great. That's what I use when I do my brunches. I make a baked omelet. You brought 2 grandkids home with you? Ah, nice. Yeah, it does. It does, Anne. The nice thing about the silicone pan is it's got a metal edge to it, so I can turn them upside down, and I should have shown it beforehand. You can poke the bottoms. You can poke the bottoms to push stuff out. Okay, so I'm just going to take, I greased that with coconut oil. I'm just going to take this leftover. I'm going to pour it in here like this and make a baked omelet out of that. I love baked omelets. Yeah, they wear you out. Hey, Kevin, nice to see you. We're doing egg white bites and sausage supper today. Nice to see you. So now we're going to put that in the oven. Oh, I'm not showing you. I'm putting it in the oven. Sorry. Bad me. Sorry. Bad me. Nice to see you, Kevin. All right, so we're doing this sausage supper here. We've got it boiling. I didn't time it. I'm going to take the lid off for a couple of minutes, let some of that boil off before we finish that off. And then we just, let's set the timer. That's for the stuff I just put in the oven. All that nice little brown bits on the bottom of the pan. It's lovely, lovely, lovely. Now, if you find that this is too thin for you, you can always add just a little bit of flour. All right, that's really hot. And I need this to stay off. I'm going to put it back on top of the sausages for now, out of my way. And we're going to go back over here. And we're going to finish off doing this stuff for the sausage supper. So we need to take a can of tomato paste. Again, store brand tomato paste. It's nice to see Kevin. Yeah, I love egg bites. And the nice thing about them, Kevin, is I freeze them. So then it's You know, you got them. You got them for a bit. Well, yeah, it's tough when you have to parent to parent. Okay, so we've got this. Let's take this. And we're going to mix this in here. We have the egg whites in there, right? That's fine. No, it's not fine. Let's get another mixing bowl. Let's use the mixing bowl that had the potatoes in it because it's clean. It just had some water in it. Dirty one less dish, right? So we take the tomato paste. This is my substitution for tomato soup. I use this instead of a can of tomato soup in my casseroles and things because we don't need as much salt as a can of tomato soup has. Okay, so now we need 2 cans of water in this. I'm going to take this spoon, I'm going to kind of stir up this can, get the remainder of the tomato paste out of it, you know, because I'm cheap. And we paid good money for that food. Right, right. Okay, so I've got that. That's going to the recycling. Those potatoes are just happily boiling away there. You can mix this. Now, when I do this for tomato soup, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Okay, okay, Moni. Very lovely brown sugar, guys. 1. You could use a 1/2 cup or a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. You know, 1 teaspoon less sugar or tablespoon less sugar works for me. I can get by with that. I can get by with that. For sure. All right, brown sugar. And of course I need 2 tablespoons of flour. Yes, it's the old Tupperware once again. I'm going to get brown sugar off because I'm going to be dunking this right in the sugar, the flour. You're watching. You're hungry? And 2 tablespoons of flour. And you know, if you stick your finger in it and taste it, it tastes like a can of tomato soup. I use a lot of tomato paste. Have you guys gathered that? I'm going to stir it so there's no lumps. Yeah. Old Tupperware. Yay for old Tupperware. Love it. I've made a mess here today, guys. I admit it. You know, you would think after the amount of stuff and time that I cook, I would mix the flour with some water before I add it in so it doesn't lump like this. Yeah, you can't tell your mama what to do. My kids have learned that for things. So as I say, for this, you could use cream of chicken, you could use cream of mushroom, you could use cream of celery. You can grate some, or finely dice some carrots and put it in. Whatever you like, guys, whatever you like. Whatever you like. It's lovely, lovely, lovely. All right. That's good. Okay, so now what it says to do is after the potatoes have simmered for 5 minutes, oh, come on. I need you to stay there. Tighten that. Tighten that. Sorry, guys. Do we have it? Do we have it? Oh, slow. Are you sinking? Is it sinking? I'm short. Oh, come on. Up a little bit. We're going to try that. See what happens. There we go. Look. All right. So we've got this boiling really nice. It calls for sliced green pepper. My store had really ugly green peppers. I did not want to use the green peppers, so I'm using the leftover red pepper from the egg bites and some yellow pepper. We're going to sprinkle that on top of this, just like that, like magic. And as I say, you can add some carrots, you can add some broccoli, you can add whatever you darn well please. Move this over, and then we're going to take these sausages, just make sure that we've got some more of this grease off. You know what? I think I'm going to get another piece of paper towel and just give them another wipe. Because we really don't need all that extra grease in there. There's enough fluid in the pan that we don't need any more grease in there than was there. Okay, so I think they're pretty good. Little glistening underneath, but we got a lot of it off. I'm just going to sprinkle them on top, like magic. Yeah, that's pretty darn greasy. Better on the paper towels than in our stomachs. So we're going to spread those out. This will do us 3 meals for the 2 of us. So, you know, it's like 6 meals in this pan. And the nice thing is, it's got all the, what are these? What's it got? It's got, whoops, hit the floor. Yeah, it's got yogurt on it. It's got veggies, it's got potatoes, it's got meat. Now we're going to let that cook for 20 minutes. That finishes cooking off the potatoes, softens up the peppers, and finishes the potatoes cooking. Now I could cover it. It's pretty thin. I will leave the cover off for now. Pick this up and put it in the sink because we're cooking on the floor today, guys. It just seems like we're cooking on the floor today. We're going to move this over here. That's what dirty everything, right? So 10 minutes left on the stove for the eggs. This is going to take 20 minutes. We'll put this timer on for that. And that little bit of flour in there is going to help this thicken up that little bit as well. But we'll let this come to a really nice boil, and then we will put the lid on. All right, so those are our recipes for today. Again, they're in the description box down below. If you try any of the recipes, please let me know how you like them. I just want to wipe this counter down and behind the camera, because this camera's like right on the edge of my sink, but you guys saw that when I was waxing the soap on Tuesday. There, reasonably clean counter. Look, reasonably clean counter. Awesome. So we've got like 8 minutes before I take the eggs out. This is now coming into a nice boil. This is kind of like a casserole kind of thing. You know, I bet you could just do this casserole, this boiling thing over here. You could probably do that with pasta as well. If you had lots of pasta and no potatoes, you could probably do it with rice. We'll do that. I will put some hot pads down so that when I take the eggs out, they're not right on the stove top. These are my homemade crochet hot pads. All right, when I do a flip through of one of those little journals that I just made, that I'm taking to the store. Yeah, let's do it. I've got my stuff all here ready to go. So I'd taken a course last Sunday, or it wasn't a course. I'm meeting those other ladies they do junk journals, and they meet once a month, and they're in Winnipeg, so I have to do this. And it's really, really nice to have people to play with. Yeah, definitely, if you wanted cheese on it, for sure. You wish I was in your kitchen. No, you don't want to wish I was in your kitchen. I make a really big mess. I really do. Oh, it's raining today there. We have beautiful sunshine. I'm really looking forward to going out into the greenhouse this afternoon and doing some crocheting or something. My nephew is coming for supper. That's okay. See, it's boiling up and over the top. It's going to make a bit of a mess on the lid. That's okay. Okay, look, this is one of the little journals. Now, when I took the course, they did a blanket stitch across the top, and it was a different closure. But because the lady who was showing us how to do it had taken the course by the lady who did these, I didn't want to use her stuff because I don't know if it's copyrighted, right? But I wanted to be very careful with that. So I did a cardboard button, 3 layers of Kleenex box cardboard, put a piece of paper on top, decorated it, made it into a button so that we can just slide this off. Oh yeah, yeah, I could. Yeah. I make you guys hungry. Well, that's kind of cool. Okay, so it's just a little flip up kind of journal. I actually did some die cutting, and of course, in the front pocket, my little book on ideas for how to use this journal. So you get the little book in the book. Variety of papers. It's not overly decorated because, people are going to be doing whatever they like in here, hopefully. Another die cut. Can't be a Kim thing without wobble cut frames and flowers. In the pocket, I have a little envelope with some die cuts and all kinds of stuff that you can use for sticking in the journal if you so desire. Another little pocket. Look, I'm using scrapbook paper, guys. I had little bits of scrapbook paper. I chopped them up into little folded things, and I'm just using them for stuffing stuff. And of course, it's got I used blanket pamphlet stitch on it, so I put butterflies on the dangles. This is another pocket with a piece of paper in. Another little pocket. Here I just put a whole bunch of twinchies, stuff that people can use in the journals. Lots of blank space, lots of room to make fun stuff. Variety of papers. This is a die cut that I have. I think I got it from Teaming. I don't know. Another pocket. I think I did some of these pages upside down. I'll be honest with you. You know how I operate. Let's get her done. Another die cut frame on dictionary page. And that's these little journals. They're basically the same. Like they all have the butterflies on the strings. They all have this closure. They're all the same size. Yeah, So that was my week this week. Did I just put that on upside down? I bet you I did too. I put glue on this because I don't want people undoing it. Flip that around the other way. So you guys know I like doing the mass production thing. And, so yeah, I did 6 of these. It was fun. Kept me out of trouble this week. Now, is that steam or is that smoke? Somebody's cooked. Oh, look, look, look. Can you see in my oven? I want to see if you can see. Can you see those? Nice and puff? I can't see if I've got you or not. We got like 2.5 minutes left and then I'll take them out and you can see how beautiful. They're really nice and puffed up. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, what's happening here? There we go. Oh, we're balancing. I'm sorry, guys. I've got that arm thing that I use for this. Let's put the brown sugar away. This is boiled up really nicely over top of my lid. I didn't get a lid that fit that frying pan. I just used one that I have on hand. And you know, it doesn't quite fit, you know. See, it's making a big mess around that back side. I don't think my stove's level. It's okay. It's okay. All right. Minute and a half left of those. Now I'll take the eggs out. They need to cool in the pan before I can do them. You can see them in the oven. Awesome. No, grating carrots is never easy. Stick a little fish in the fridge. You know what, Belinda? For what I'm selling those for, they already have an awful lot of work put in them. Manitoba is really cheap when it comes to anything handmade. The rule is if you can sell in Manitoba, you can sell anywhere. Oh, this is making thickness. Yeah, I don't want to add anything else to them for what I'm selling them for. But yeah, I thought of it. But in the little package of stuff to add, there's like some Bitsy Birds. I put in Bitsy Birds and some tickets, like hand painted tickets and stuff. It's in the little envelope. Oh, you are making such a mess. Such a mess. Oh, potatoes are sticking to the bottom a little bit. We're going to put you at an angle so some of that juice boils off. Look how dirty my stove is. You guys always say, oh, Kim's got a clean stove. Not today. Kim does not have a clean stove today. Not at all. Did I lose you guys? Are you still here? Let me know. Are you still here? Yeah, it went black. I hit something. You know, I hit something. Kim hit something. Okay, so these puffed up really nice. I took them out and I took this out. Must have They look lovely. They look absolutely lovely. I'll show you this omelet. Nice little baked omelet. Those are now sinking because they puff up and then they sink. All right, let's get a little plate and a knife, and I'll show you this baked omelet. I guess I need a different spatula. Heads up, if you buy these plasticky spatulas with a strange handle, don't put them in the dishwasher. Those strange handles actually get really ugly after a couple of times in the dishwasher. Take this out. Nice little baked omelet. So this has onion and cheese and peppers in it, as do these bites. But see, it comes out reasonably clean. I will get a fork and show you. Now I could have this in a sandwich or just the way it is. Can you see? Where's my camera? I don't know where my camera is. There we go. Nope. Maybe. Ah! I'm way off camera, aren't I? What happens if I move this way a little bit? There. See how nice and fluffy that is? Now, of course, you know, you want them to be reasonably golden on the top, as are these, nice and golden around the edges. So that's the omelet. We will put this over here. And you know what? Yes, I just put it on my bare counter. And the reason being is this counter is very old and Ron's building me new cabinets eventually. He's getting a rack. Getting a rack. So we're gonna pop one of these out and I will show you. So they're silicone. Look, they shrink. And it comes out lovely just like this. Or I can take them and pop them from the bottom. They don't pop as nice from the bottom as doing them the other way though. Just gonna remove them from the sides a little bit and pop it out. Oh, hand in the way, hands in the way. You just pop out. And then you have these wonderful little egg bites. And because they're egg whites, you're supposed to let them cool in the pan. But because they're egg whites, they're fun and fast. I am making all of you open your mouths like, here comes a train. Yeah, okay, take care. Take care, Molly. We'll maybe see you later. So that makes a fair bunch of egg bites. Like I say, I'll take 2 or 3 and I will add them to a salad. I'll just eat them the way they are. I might have them for breakfast with a piece of toast. I guess you could always, I don't know, put them on a bagel, put them on toast, whatever. You know, those ones that I would definitely put on bagel, like the, those things, omelet, the baked omelet. I love baked omelets. And again, you can freeze these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let them cool. I'm going to put them on a cookie sheet. I'm going to freeze them, let them freeze before I bag them up. And do that. So anyway, that's how I do the egg white bites. Ta-da! Yeah, look, they worked. Kim's chaotic kitchen worked today. Now this is a mess. It's got 4 minutes to go. Are we at the stove? We're at the stove. We're going to take that off for sure now. Wow, I got a big mess on the other side of the counter, guys. This one. Yeah, the potatoes are stuffed. I probably could have added another tablespoon of flour. The potatoes are mashing, which is fine, because as I say, I'm just going to take these and put them in containers in the freezer, and it will give me enough for 3 meals for Ron and I. So basically 6 meals altogether. Just get the potato off the bottom. But I mean, it's not burnt, it's just thick, right? So that's got 3 minutes to go, and then that's ready. And then I have to let it cool, and I can package it up. Maybe my nephew will take them. He's coming for spaghetti because I asked him what he wanted for supper, because I always ask, right? And he said spaghetti because that's when he was little and staying with us and visiting, and we had spaghetti. It was always eating at the Improv again. So, oh look, I got some of that sausage stuff on the counter. Yeah, that omelet would make a great sandwich. Yeah, Western omelet. A little bit of ham in there. Could have done that. Could have put mushrooms in. Mushrooms, though, you might want to pre-fry a little bit because they get really moist, and it could take longer for them to set. But yeah, so this is what we've done today. As I say, this is, 2 minutes left. As far as I'm concerned, it's cooked. Everybody's, the sausage has had enough time to cook. The peppers are soft. The potatoes are soft. This is ready to be packaged. I'm going to try and keep the potatoes in this whatever slice shape as I can. And I am going to call this a day, guys. I would like to thank each and every one of you guys for being here. Everybody who's in the audience and chatting. I'm sorry I wasn't around to chat very much, but I was on a roll. This is how I cook. 2 or 3 things at a time, and I've got everything kind of stepped so that a couple of steps here, a couple of steps there. These omelets really are so simple to make, or the egg white bites, they're so simple to make. If you can get, like the carton of egg whites I got, it's Burn Brave Farms, strictly egg whites. I know that they're located in Winnipeg because my daughter used to work for them. I don't know about the cartons that you can get in the States for that. That's my signal. I'm just going to turn this off. And yeah. Anyway, thank you guys all for being here. Big hugs. See you on Tuesday. It's art day on Tuesday. I've got an idea, guys. I have ideas. So thanks again for being here. And if you try it, let me know how you like it. Take care, everybody. Big hugs to you all. Love you. Bye. Happy Easter to those who celebrate. Bye.